Hi guys, today you're going to be taking notes over race constructed response questions in your INB on page 7. Please follow along and write down any information that you feel is important, even if I only say it and it's not included in the PowerPoint. So first of all, what is race and when do we use it? Race is another version of yes ma'am, but it's more suited to older grades. Yes ma'am, while great to get students started on constructed response questions, is kind of childish, especially for the 8th grade. Race allows you to delve deeper into your own thoughts, but also to really make sure that you're including the information from the nonfiction articles or videos that we'll be reading and watching in the future. We will be using race for the rest of the year on any kind of short paragraph answer question. These could be in journals, on quizzes and tests, and on the iLearn in April. It ensures that we are all on the same page when it comes to what we should include in these types of responses. So now on to what race actually stands for. The R is for restate, A for answer, C for cite, E for explain. In the upcoming slides, we'll be answering the question, why is the sky blue, using the different elements of race. The first part of race is to restate the question. Here's the key when you're restating the question. You are not just repeating the question. Many students in the past just have started out their race paragraph by retyping or rewriting the question. That's not what I want. I want you to turn the question into a statement. Again, why it's called restating the question, not repeating the question. Look at the examples. So for our first question, we have, why is the sky blue? In order to turn this into a statement, we have to switch it around a little. Instead of why is the sky blue, we now have the sky is blue because. The next question, which is the tallest tower, becomes the tallest tower is. And finally, who is Charlie Gordon becomes Charlie Gordon is. So if I were to ask you, how did World War II end? How would you restate that question? Pause the video, write your answer, and then press play. You should have written down World War II ended because ... The next part of race is to actually answer the question. I know it seems obvious, but you wouldn't believe how many people can type out an entire paragraph to the question asked, but never actually answer the questions, especially when there are multiple questions being asked in one paragraph. When you do answer, more than likely it will be combined in the same sentence as the restated question. For instance, look at the examples. In one, you restate the question and then answer. In the second, you answer and then restate. It just depends on the type of question you're being asked. Either way is okay most of the time. The next part of race is where you actually get into the meat of your paragraph. This is where you start pulling the textual evidence you want to cite. When citing information, you can either use a direct quote from the source, or you can paraphrase the author's words. When you paraphrase, you're taking the author's words and turning them into your own. Either way is fine, as long as you aren't plagiarizing someone else's work. If you are using the author's words exactly, you need to make sure you are putting quotations around that work. Look at my example. I've chosen to paraphrase the information rather than quote it directly. Paraphrasing can be really hard, especially when you have the text in front of you. It's way too easy to just take one or two words of the author's, change them, and think that you've done the job well. But just changing one or two words isn't good enough, so you might want to save paraphrasing for times when you won't have the text in front of you, like on a test for class. If you have the text in front of you, especially on something like iLearn or the journals in class, you'll probably want to stick to using direct quotes. The last thing I want you to notice is that I also included at the very end where I found the information within the article. It's easy to let me or someone else, maybe like the person grading iLearn, know where you found the quote by just adding a quick note to the end like I did. Now you know that I found the information that I paraphrased in paragraph 5 of the article. Finally, the last part of RACE is explaining the quote or paraphrase that you chose to use in your citation. Explaining is usually the hardest part of RACE because most of us just want to end our paragraph by saying, "This is why the sky is blue," or "These are the reasons why I believe all schools should have uniforms." That's not good enough, though, especially not now that you're in 8th grade, getting ready to move on to the high school. When explaining, you need to show how you understand that quote. In this case, it may be easier to revert back to the ideas of yes, ma'am. The last M is for your own thoughts about the answer. That's what you're going to do here. For instance, see my example. I explain what the quote actually means in my own words to make sure that anyone can fully understand what I mean when I say that humans only see a small percentage of light and that the sky only appears blue to us. All right, guys, this is the end of the notes. You'll have time to practice race later on this week.